So today's question comes from Alex at Phoenix 2.0, an IT consulting and management firm in the Bay Area. And he sent a great two-part question. First part is, how do you know when someone can get by with Wix or Squarespace? And when should they really be on WordPress? And the second part is, how do you avoid getting stuck with a WordPress theme that looks great but gets abandoned? So from what we've seen, I think most people choose a website platform because it's one of a few things: affordable, familiar. Someone told them, just use this. And I think for a while it works just fine. So when you start adding more content or your business grows a bit or you want to grow, suddenly something's off. A layout breaks, something loads weird, you can't get support. Or in the case of AI tools, the AI website builders, it hands you something that looks really good, but it's kind of just one giant block of hard-coded HTML, which is pretty challenging for most, people starting out with website to handle. So at that point, I think it's important to realize that when you've reached the limits, it's not you, it's just what the limits of the website builder can do. And another example that I'll mention, it's sort of an aside that kind of blows my mind. So we recently had a prospect ask if we'd work on a site built with one of the new, easy AI builders. And I'm not going to name it because the company behind it is sketchy in a few ways. But the situation is that the builder was bought by a hosting company. And it's not a super well-known hosting company, but they charge thousands of dollars per year to host really tiny websites, like 3-page tiny websites on hosting that is generously mediocre. And I know this because we're currently helping a client get out of something with them right now. So my point is that the bigger issue with website builders is the lock-in. So the builders promise, simplicity, like drag, drop, click, publish. But behind the curtain, it's still giving out an entire design as static HTML. Or it has a proprietary builder and you can't take that with you. So there's no template structure, no, drag and drop stuff, nothing reusable. And it looks easy, right up until you want to change something or you want the site to grow with you. So then you find out you're trapped, you can't move it, you can't scale it, and you definitely cannot maintain without, somebody who knows what they're doing, or a full rebuild. So back to the first question. Wix or Squarespace, I think, are perfectly fine when you're starting out. You need something simple, inexpensive, fast. You don't have a ton of content yet. You just need something functional. You need an online presence, something that looks nice. Builders, they give you the guardrails. And in the early days, that's actually, I think, really helpful. It's just that, when your business grows or when you need more design control, integrations, flexibility, anything beyond the starter kit, I guess, those guardrails kind of turn into walls. And that's when I think WordPress becomes the smarter choice. Not because you made a mistake earlier, but because your business simply evolved. And so the second question, how do you avoid getting stuck with a WordPress theme that later gets abandoned? So this happens all the time. The theme looks incredible in the demo. So you install it, it works, and then the developer disappears, stops updating it, or leaves you with code that breaks pretty much anytime there's an update. I guess the way to avoid that is just to not rely on a single theme or a single theme developer. So for example, when we build WordPress sites, we use stable frameworks, supported tools, clean code, that doesn't really hinge on one person maintaining it forever. So if the theme author bails, your site shouldn't go down. So we build our websites also on top of a clean, bare bones Beaver Builder theme that we created just for this reason. So you can take this with you, as Beaver Builder is really well supported and very easy to use. So it's the difference, I think, between buying a house from an experienced builder versus buying one someone's uncle put together over the weekend. So, one lasts and one probably doesn't. So to sum things up, if you need something fast and simple, use a builder like Wix or Squarespace. If your business is growing, or your website is a part of your marketing and sales strategy, I would suggest using WordPress. And if you do choose WordPress, so I guess just make sure it's built on tools and structures that don't depend on a single developer being in a good mood for the next 7 years. You know, this could be going to really any site that offers themes to be purchased, and oftentimes they do get abandoned. So I would suggest looking into something that is probably going to be well supported. Maybe just ask some people like us. We have, I think, a good pulse on some things, and we're biased a little bit, but we really do love Beaver Builder. It works really well. There's lots of support for it, and it's easy to use, and it hasn't gone abandoned. I don't know if it will, if WordPress exists in the future. So before you make a final decision, I guess just ask yourself, what does my website actually need to do today and a year from now? And I think your answer will tell you exactly what you need to do, which platform makes more sense for your case. I hope that helps, and thanks.